What's the most diabolical part of this whole like 62 million views on that Academy site? Is the fact that people are like, oh well, it's 62 million sites, not 62 million users. That still means that someone looked at the page and probably got answers and information. They don't have to be a member in order to do the violent and heinous things that all the men that were members were doing it. Like, it's just so insane how far bro code goes for these men that like they will go to bat for each other even if they know that that other man is like the most diabolical, abusive piece of shit. Like, hello, that's why we have the people that we do in office right now, because people don't want to accept the fact that at the bottom of the femicide pyramid, you can look it up, it's called the genocide pyramid, and it can be applied in many different scenarios. Like, there's one, I've looked at one for the patriarchy and one that's more for white supremacy. But anyway, people don't want to accept the fact that things like boys will be boys, locker room talk, bro code, comedians being allowed to make sexist jokes just without any consequences, those are all at the bottom of the femicide pyramid, and that eventually leads to rape, and femicide is at the top of the pyramid. So if we want to deconstruct this, we have to start at the bottom of the pyramid, and that's the part where I feel like we're still stuck, because a lot of men are just choosing not to evolve and become better people because they would rather just be miserable. Honestly, like, a lot of them, it's easier to be miserable, honestly, a lot of the time, and just like be in a victim complex. That's a very easy way to live, because then you can blame everyone else for what's happening to you, because men are taught that the world happens to them and like they have like no control over how to respond, which is not true. You always have control over how you respond. Like, if you really work on it, then you can figure out that you're reacting before you're responding. And most men I've met, they react. They don't respond. They don't pause to think before they say shit. And like, literally everything I'm saying, you can see in who is leading countries today. And that's why it's such a fucking issue, because it goes all the way to the top. And the men who are the most diabolical are the ones who are the most privileged. And honestly, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, when I look at like white collar crime, like, I'm a forensic psychologist, becoming one forensic psychologist. I've observed that I feel like white men create obstacles for themselves, artificial obstacles, because they have created such a privileged stance in society, just how they were born, which is not normal. Everyone, when they're born, they should be equal. Like, the fact that I'm born with this color of my skin does not mean I'm better than someone who does not have the same skin tone. But I feel like we're literally like losing the recipes, and like we have to teach people basic empathy. And that also goes into how like education is being defunded, but that's a whole other thing. But like, God, the bro code goes so fucking deep, because like I saw someone saying like either way, like maybe some guys did report it, but like that's still scary, because that means that nothing happened and the site didn't get shut down even if they reported it. Which, I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't think that any of them reported it. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's just from my experience with men who are like this, who do these types of acts. They are never fully satisfied, which is why they keep doing it over and over and over. And not explaining, like, the why is not to justify or say what any of them did is right, because it's absolutely wrong and disgusting and inhuman to do that to someone. When you are violating someone, you are taking their autonomy in a way that's like, a lot of people who go through SA and things like that, it's almost like the pain of living with that is worse than dying. because of how much it just destroys your soul, basically, to be repeatedly violated, especially by someone that like you thought you could trust, and like that you thought cared for you and like maybe loved you. Like this is why too, like our grandparents and our moms were like, don't get married, don't have kids, because they know how diabolical these men are, because they used to not be able to divorce them. You know, they used to give cast iron skillets as a wedding gift to cover for the fact that they were going to use those to beat their husband if they ever tried some shit. Because that's what we're going back to. Like, when we go back to traditional values, you're going back to a place where women don't have the chance to leave. And that means that the mortality rates for husbands will go up. They will. That's what happens in societies where you cut off, like, there's no gender equality, or the gender equality is just not there. Which, if you didn't know, no country has achieved fully gender equality or equity, so obviously we need to fucking change something. And I'm from the belief that, like, we can't go in and fix the system with what it is. Like, girl, we gotta tear the whole shit down. And I was thinking about this. I was like, it's so sad that maybe the time that I grew up in, when Obama was in office, is like the most progressive that this country could ever get. Like, and I know that's a very pessimistic view. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. So if men want to go back to that, where women were abusing their husbands back, then we can go there. I just think that they don't realize that's what's gonna happen. Because especially white women were perceived as being like docile and fragile and demure, and like we're not capable of violence. That is not true. I have seen white women throw hands, all right? But they throw hands more with their words. I will say that. White women are very vicious with their words. Because we're taught we're not supposed to use our fists, so it has to go somewhere else when we're angry. In my opinion, I think words are a much more effective weapon. But that's just me. Because I'm pretty good at psychoanalyzing people, so... Anyway. Yeah, I know I got really angry at times in this message, but, like, if you're not, honestly, then, like, that's weird. If you're not, like, angry about this, or, like, you don't have any emotion when reading about this, then you're detached from your humanity, in my opinion, your emotions. Because, like, it's not supposed to be normal to do this. We should not normalize this, and we normalize it by not having, like, an angry reaction to it, or a reaction that's like, this is not okay. Because when people get angry, it's because internally we know that some boundary has been crossed. But yeah, I just, all those wives, I hope that they can heal and, like, recover. There's such an anger that gets placed in your soul when that shit happens to you over and over. Like,